Hello and welcome, my little songbirds. This is your host Alex, and I am presenting to you the third round of the April European Highlander tournament from Bad Kreuznach. And in this duet, we can see Florian playing Junt mid-range on the left and Marco playing blue-white control on the right. Marco has apparently won the die roll and kept his hand. And Florian seems to content as well, so let's get going. Surveil. Big mecha hits the bin. Surveil for Junt. Alright, both players just sculpting their hands. Opt into Predain. Takes the land. Carcass. Playing against legendaries. And here's Junt, classic all-star, Tarmogoyf. Hit by the reprieve. Both players playing at a good pace. It makes the commentator happy. Right, more cycling, more fetching. Buy you the pick for the generous end. Marco also fetching. As far as I know, Marco's list is a very basic heavy version normally. Making good use of back to basics and greedy mana bases from all around the Highlander archetypes. That's the Sirak from the Dragon.
Oh, der kann ich auch eine wählen. Ja. Da ist verkackt, ey.
Zurücknehmen oder?
Nee, komm.
Ah, geez. Okay, so Marco tries to counter the uncounterable Sirak.
Ja, hättest du zurücknehmen können.
Nee, alles gut. Komm. So fetzt hier, Heike.
Flo offers to turn that back and act as if the mana leak never happened and return it to Marco's hand, but Marco says, no, let's keep this real. Very authentic and nice by both players. Right, Marco deservedly took his 4 damage here with what's next up. Looks like Mind Twist is being put at the forefront on Flo's hand. Mind Twist for 3 it is.
Go.
Nope, Marco says, and uses the carcass to get rid of the annoying uncounterable legend. And Zurich is back.
Okay.
Jetzt vergessen habe ich, dass ich die
Hab ich
Karte
schon
ziehen darf.
gekauft.
Ich habe auch verkackt. Ich darf eine Karte ziehen, wenn der Tage tut. 3 Mana, Draw a Card.
Beziehungsweise 3 Mana.
And plays the 2/2.
Tschüss, so. Go.
Solitude.
Mhm.
Trigger. Das ist 3.
Alright, this time Florian doesn't miss drawing the card from his Zurich
Warte.
for being targeted.
Vorher. Snuff out.
Quasi umsonst.
Alles umsonst. Okay.
And the attrition game begins.
Inquisition de Kozilek.
Ah, ich wusste. Boah. Ich hab grad gedacht, wenn ich. Alter. Shit.
Yeah, Mind Twist
Go.
was the bait. And Him to Zurich was the end game here.
So von weit hinten ist.
Gram, Exile das da.
Respawn Cycle.
Okay.
Dann siehst du rein.
Ja.
Wie 4 weg.
Ja. Bist du auf?
14.
Den da.
Ja.
Kreatur, Sorcery, Instant, Land. Enchantment.
Enchantment. Artifact.
Artifact.
And big Pyroglyph. Deciding whether to clear the shark. Nope.
Dich?
Goes for the player.
Schießt die auch nochmal 6.
Oh yeah, and follow up with another Tarmogoyf. Shoots another. Wow.
Nice.
That was Jund handily taking apart a control opponent.
War ich nicht. War ich nicht.
So it's 1-0 for Jund and Florian. Let's see what the next game brings.
Weird, but okay.
Weird flex, but okay.
Alright, and this time it's again Marco who's going first, but both players take a trip to London. Let's see if players are happy with their hands now. Potentially mulliganing, giving a little bit of an edge to the Jund player.
Ja.
Running Ren at 6 mana dogs and generally being less mana hungry.
Ich respond one.
Hex Trinket the play for Jund.
Ja. Lass drauf, zieh ich dann.
And hits the battlefield. Hex Drinker not drinking Swords to Plowshares. Draw go for the blue player.
Gut, was? Achso, ja, da nicht, da nicht. Ja. Also, da. Severo.
Argent player looking to demonic tutor. And Marcus saying, try another day. That seems like something you don't want to let resolve. Although the old saying goes, don't counter the tutor, counter the target. There are probably way too many uncounterable targets in the Gent player's decklist. Decklists, as always, you can find in the description below. Fetching again is allowed. Rethinks their decision and goes for Badlands here. Let's see what's happening next. I think Pyrogoyf was an option. Running back the demonic is also an option. I think as Junt player you must be thinking running the demonic is probably just, like, I'm going to use it as bait. And there's another remand variant for the Pyrogoyf. The blue-white player basically saying, I want to know my next couple of cards before I make a decision on all of these threats that you're throwing at me. Sweeper could be nice for creatures, removal. Let's see. And here's a Narset, part of Wales. So the demonic root tutor resolves. It's going to be interesting what the target is now.
Ist das gut?
Looks like the uncounterable goblin is the choice. Psst. And then an uncounterable removal for the Narset. Still traded 2 for 1. Extrinker healing the battlefield.
Ja. Ich weiß. Was steht für 4?
1 Shitong, 4x equals 4.
Habe ich 2 Karten. Es kommen 4 Marken und dann die Hälfte ziehe ich dran. Ja, das funktioniert.
Alright, and Bolt takes care of the bird. As it always should be. Still draws 2 cards.
Ich weiß nicht wie.
Merchant Scroll searching Mystical Tutor.
Ich will, dass der Peter mich ausmacht.
Curious.
Mystic tut auf die
This
Hand.
looks like a Terminus play. I don't know why else you would do this. Must be miracle or bust.
Ja. Ich hab okay. Was geht, oder?
Let's see what's happening here. Terminus for just this one guy seems also a bit much. But you forego the 2 damage from the ward.
Ja, dann kommt der oben drauf. Da würde ich mal zukommen. Dann würde ich den Miracle triggern. Terminus. Ja, kein Wort.
Terminus resolves.
Spiel ich mit Stone Chasers Terminus.
And everybody's favorite is it spell from Standard.
Hardcast.
Storm Chaser's Talent. I think Marco said that he wants to. Let's see. Oh, I think he just passed the turn. And has Hardcast Endurance. Gets countered by Manalik.
So.
Magus of the Moon, the draw for the Junt player. Not very effective against the basics mana base. Looks like a fantastic discard target for the formidable speaker. But gets hit by mana drain. Who gets to resolve a Lorien revealed. And it seems like it's time to get aggressive. How much does his control extend? If the Junt player just tries to take over the board now. Magus of the Moon is being cast. And March of Otherworldly Light for the Magus. Bolt for the Otter. So we are at the attrition part again. Nobody's holding anything back. Dig through time. Bad news for the Junt player. Looks like Force and Oculus the pick. Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Dann sag ich mal Go und dann Keep.
Alright, pretty strong turn for the blue-white player here. But both Deadpool and Pyrogoyf still lurking in Florian's hand. If he gets to resolve either of those, can turn the game around. I assume that the graveyard from the Junt player is stocked enough so that even if Marco emptied his graveyard enough from both Dick and the Oculus, it will still kill the Oculus.
False pitch babies.
Deadpool not hitting play here. Let's see if the ability to return an instant or sorcery from Storm Chaser's talents getting used here. Right, it looks like, yep. Florian knows another of his spells is not going to resolve. Not even with the Wasteland. And he would have needed the Pyrogoyf direly. And he packs it in, ready for game 3. So in this match we are 1 game apiece. Let's see who can take this duet between Junt and blue-white control home. Alright, and we start off the third game of the match. Again, with a mulligan from both players. Looks like another mulligan for Marco, sending the blue-white control deck down to 5 cards.
Yes.
Alright, and it's a keep on 5 for Marco, so let's go.
beide in der Main Phase immer fetchen. Angst haben, dass der andere einfach irgendwelche Punkte machen. Schwarz macht.
Both players afraid of any search denying spells. Opposition Agent, Shadow of Doubt,
Portal nicht.
so on.
Hell no.
Stifle from the blue player.
Dann würde ich Go sagen, dann Keep.
And Marco's still digging for his second land, it seems.
1,5.
Him
1,5. Von mir aus. 4.
It's a sleight of hand and everybody's favorite. But Marco at least finds another land.
Nee.
And pass back. So we might get a game here.
Was?
It's the mini questing beast. Something frenzied Baloth.
Sure. Ja, 3. Ist egal. Das ist crazy. Man kann.
Balance.
3.
Returning balance to the game.
Peter Kai Koppen, bitte gehen Sie weg von der Technik. Peter Kai Koppen, bitte. Meintest du 2? Nein, wirklich. Ich nehme die Viecher mit Jerry auseinander.
So possibly formidable speaker.
Ja, das ist diese bisschen Survival, ne? Ja. Aber was nicht? Krass. Was kannst du antappen? Another target permanent. Go.
Emmanuel Dipras, being the the world champion that designed this card or is represented by this card. And Spider-Punk, another uncounterable spell. Not sure here. Remand should counter the Spider-Punk. Oh, Spider-Punk only does that once it hit the game. Well, the battlefield. Alright, but Marco got to cycle his remand, turning it into a tithe. A shark from Sharknado to block the Spider-Punk. Tainted Pack. In response, Marco takes 2, and Hex Drinker hits the ward. Prismatic ending for the Hex Drinker. Still facing down, a very aggressive, formidable speaker. And La Ilia. He must not like that.
Das machen wir für 1. Ja, für 2. Ich ziehe eine Karte. Dann
But a 3/3 Wan Chitong enters the battlefield. Trades with Lelia. And Formidable Speaker still unimpededly trucking along, chipping away. Oh, but it's the hero of Dominaria.
Ich würde ihn mal grüßen. Das ist eine Karte. Dann sagen wir 5.
Marco cannot resist drawing a card. And should untap 2 lands in his end of turn. At his end of turn. The delayed trigger from the ferry.
Achso, ich habe noch 2 Hände getan. Sorry. Da war ja was.
Oh wow! Molten Collapse from the top.
Das war geht's.
Stopped by... Not stopped by Spell Pierce, just... Here's the extra tax.
Ja, ich hab überlegt.
I think Marco's soul card in hand is a Meticulous Archive. Really needs to find a removal. Although Formidable Speaker.
Stuff of the Storyteller geht noch runter. Dann sag ich mal, go.
But has already the counterspell for Deadpool in hand. Florian does not even want to deploy the Deadpool.
Ich würde das hier hinlegen. Das ist jetzt ein bisschen nervig, ist, aber weil du zerstörst eh das Base. Ich lege das hin. Boah, Prop Decay.
Formidable Speaker comes back.
Ja.
This time, Deadpool goes away.
Das krieg ich nicht.
Many good options now. Uncounterable threats, haste threats, flash threats. Marco really again with his back against the wall here. Ooh. Also shock. All right. Now both players are empty-handed, but the Junt player has a draw here and something on board. Marco has to draw something right now. Finds a stock up. That's a start. Looks like there's at least a cryptic command and something else. Looked like an enchantment. Needed to use the Cryptic Command as a repulse. Now the question for Florian is, do I deploy the Lethal Threat or the One Ring? Lethal Threat it is. I really wonder what is in Marco's hand. It's a portable hole and whatever else I could not make out. And John takes down blue-white control in round 3 of this tournament. Thanks for watching and see you in the next.